Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Camera Tuesday, we're gonna talk about a new recorder that hit the market, that is Zoom F3. So let's dive right into it. Now this puppy is a field recorder and it's a dual channel field recorder, meaning you have two XLR inputs that will work. Now the main selling point why anybody would want to buy this is because of 32-bit float audio recorder. I will talk about it further. And this is a small compact, you can guess the size, and very kind of robust kind of structure. You're not supposed to baby this puppy. It's designed for actual rigorous use, and it does have the ability to phantom power around 24 volts and 48 volt system. So even higher power microphones can be powered by this. So if you have a microphone that's I need 48 volt phantom power, this is I got this. So that's kind of good. It has micro SD card and latest variant of micro SD card, meaning it can go up to 1 terabyte. Since you want to record 32-bit, that's a good add-on, and it has USB-C. So that these things are good, and it is supposed to be priced at around $350. That is around 30,000 rupees in Indian. Again, it has not hit the market, as in you can pre-order it, but you can't get it right now. So prices may vary because of shortage and all that jazz. Now, what's the big deal about 32-bit float recording? Now, if you have paid attention to audio industry, you would have noticed that it's kind of stagnant, and I mean horrifyingly stagnant, as in things that were good sounding audio equipment in 1970, it's more or less the same, especially on the analog side of things. It's if it was working awesome in 1960, it will still work in 1970, 80, same thing. And digital also, early days, there were some progression. After a while, even that stopped. So this is next evolution. 32-bit is huge. Now why is such a big deal? Because it provides huge dynamic range. Now be very mindful when you talk about decibels. Decibel have this thing where we call it's not a linear, it's logarithmic, meaning it goes like this. It's not a straight line. It's 1 decibel is this, 2 decibel is this, 3 decibel is this. No, it's 1, 2, 3. Let's not even talk about 100. It's very the gap steps between these gaps are huge. So 24-bit audio fundamentally cannot capture all of that. It does not have enough range to map it out one-to-one. So it has to do some compression. So people who have developed this specifically focused all that energy, basically data point capturing, on the high end. That's why people will say, if you have generally you do not want to be very low. If you record a 24-bit audio in low time, the fidelity goes down, even though in principle it should record everything. It's just because how the mapping works. It just does not have enough oomph to map it one-to-one. However, 32-bit can do that. So it has huge basically digital range where it's I can map everything. Now what does that mean? I can map everything, meaning your microphone will be the limiting factor. Right now microphones have a range of this much, meaning the quietest audio it can record in terms of decibel, highest it can record before it physically gets either destroyed or damaged. It has this much range. Here's your audio recorder can barely handle this much. Okay, it's not this much, but you get the point. It's much lower than your microphone. However, if you have 32-bit float recording doing properly, your digital recorder is this much. It's microphone is now the smaller unit, meaning if your mic can capture it, your recorder is I got this. There is no such thing as clipping. There is no such thing as too cold of a signal. It's I got this. 32-bit float is so big in numerical terms, it can map everything precisely without coloring the audio, without tone mapping it, so to say. So it's awesome, but it does require two A to D, meaning two analog to digital converters, where basically, again, how companies are doing it, many companies are doing it. So how they are physically doing it, that's up to them. Meaning some people suggest that they have one preamp and they have one attenuator, and then that attenuator is acting as a low gain setup, and high gain setup is the default one. But you do need two of them, because one analog to digital circuit does not have the range to capture a whole microphone. So have two of them, have overlap where they transition point, the end. Now you have a range that is huge. The dynamic range is huge, meaning your microphone is no longer bothered. Gains do not make any difference at this point in time. Your microphone is the physical limit at this point in time. And you may be okay, let's say this works. 32-bit is awesome, everything is great about it. How about working on it? Can you edit it? Can you modify it? Audio engineers, you have to pay for software licenses. Are there softwares that work on it? Thankfully, surprisingly, yes. Many software many years ago started to support 32-bit audio, especially audios that were synthesized artificial audios. Basically the pipeline was kind of there already. Pipeline was already built for it. I mean, some applications are really good at it, FL Studio is really good at it, and there are other studio that can support it, but they cannot export it. Now be very mindful, this 32-bit float audio is awesome, but it's never meant for delivery format, as it's not designed for that. You're not supposed to give it to your client. You're always supposed to give your client into 24-bit. The client's supposed to distribute it in around 16-bit, depending on SoundClouds, CD, DVD, and all that jazz. basically you have a studio master would still be in 24. Like you will record in 32. It's almost like how we capture raw files, but you never give raw file to someone. Like you never do video editing on raw camera file. You take the raw file, you color it, then you make it into a final format, then that gets edited. So same thing here. 32-bit is a capture format, not a final delivery format. And many pro end equipment started to use this. F6 was a big flagship item which started to do it. Then very quickly, like I am pretty sure most of the companies were working behind the scene for this, but this is the biggest change after a very long time. So F6 became the first that publicly started like, yeah, I have 32-bit audio, and all these gain knobs, they are not gain knobs, they are digital fader knobs, and it does not make a difference because how much data bandwidth you have in 32-bit is like you can tone it down to almost 0 dB. It's like I still have everything. You scale it up, all the audio bits will be there. It's like I got this. Same goes with SoundCloud equipments. And like again, if you're not familiar with SoundCloud, they're the backbone of Hollywood kind of thing. And again, there are companies even better, bigger and more expensive than this, but they are high end and they are also doing this. Almost all audio company that is serious about audio, they are going into 32-bit float audio. You can get the cheapest equipment that can do 32-bit audio is F2-bit Bluetooth variant. Again, normal one will also do, and this is also Tentacle Sync. This has like time code and 32-bit float recording. So you get the point. Like 32-bit is the next big step. When I was talking about wireless microphones, this is the one step that is missing. Once we achieve 32-bit, the end. And if somebody can figure out a way to use USB bus to transfer 32-bit file from, because again, it's a digital file, it's a huge file, it does need USB bus to transfer it. If you can transfer this 32-bit to camera while in video format, the end. Like at that point we would have solved all of the issue. We will no longer have that, like, you have to have an independent recorder. Again, as a backup, awesome. It will no longer will be a need. 32-bit has enough color that everything will be transferred, and if it's digitally transferred, you no longer even have to worry about, like, noise floors and all that jazz. So 32-bit is awesome if you can milk this puppy properly. So what are the benefits of this thing? Well, it's a great starting out kit, meaning if you're starting into audio industry and, like, let's say you are a run and gun kind of shooter, you just buy it because this is the best plug and play and no setup kind of equipment, meaning you plug your microphone, you check the battery, everything, and like that. And again, if it's supposed to be a very long recording, you may even use USB power and just start the recording and don't even think about it. And it does support, like, large cards, which really boils my blood. Is like I have H1N right here, and this puppy can still only support 32 GB card. Why? This was released by the time 128 GB cards became normal. It's like, why the heck? Like, if it fills up very quickly. I wanted the idea of, like, having very long my history. Basically, I want the card to be, like, keep recording for a very long time. So in case of I need to redo a video, I can just, like, pull back from card itself. But card is, like, very small, even does not even have USB-C. This was H1 was the original GG equipment. Then H1N supposed to be upgraded. They did not upgrade anything into it. So this time they have listened. USB-C power system, and having 1 TB SD card, which is kind of important if you are gonna do 32-bit float recording. And you can also use mobile as a controller. It does require you to buy a dongle. Be very mindful of that. You just get the app, it will work. No, it will not. You need to buy a physical device, which is ludicrously expensive. But if you buy that equipment, it will make your life a bit easier, especially in the monitoring department. Monitoring as in, like, what my recorder is doing. Is it recording? And if you want to add marks into that, which helps you in post-processing, this is kind of only way of doing it. So there are a lot of pros into this, especially for starting out. Like, you plug it, you start recording, you do not think about anything else. That's awesome. Like, it's really good for this. What are the cons of this? Well, it's still working in 1970. It's like, this is one of those things that I genuinely hate about camera industry and audio industry. It's like they reached a maturity point and then they kind of stagnated there. It's like, we're not gonna improve. Like, I get it, they're improving the quality, but they're not improving the usability of it. They're like, how about you make my life easier? How about that? How about that unique idea? It's like, if I'm paying you boatload of money, how about you try to make my life a bit easier? How about you use the technology that has been in the market for, let's say, 30 years? Use it properly. Like Bluetooth. Why the heck do I need this BTA1? It's like, why the heck Bluetooth chip, which is this tiny? Like, I'm not joking. Like, you can buy Bluetooth chips that are very small. Like, it will not take it will take giant space in the PCB. No, it's very tiny. And what about the antenna? That's also very tiny. It can be done very easily. It's like, why the heck do I need that adapter? And not to mention, adapter gives a fail point for you, because, like, what if somebody does not have the adapter? They will think this audio recorder is like okay, but if they have the Bluetooth system, they will think, oh, this is very good because I can use my mobile phone. You are creating product segmentation inside your product. You do not want to do that. It's really bad. And not to mention, even if you pay for money, pay for this adapter, plug it in, and start to use Bluetooth, it can still not broadcast audio to goddamn Bluetooth headset. Now, like, okay, these headsets are not the latest and greatest. SDL, they are far more better than onboard audio of that tiny recorder. I guarantee you that. So again, let's assume you do not have like, proper studio monitoring system. Again, monitoring anything is better than nothing. Headphones, Bluetooth headphones, and not to mention Bluetooth headphones have come a long way. The codecs have improved such a point to such a high degree that you can get really quality audio output of it. You can't just use it. It's like, why? Again, it's Bluetooth, but it's like, no, let's F the customer. It really frustrates me. And in terms of app, even though they have this hardware and it works with many other equipment also, including F6, it's just a controlling equipment. It does not even allow you to back up the file. It's like, why? Like, audio is a critical part. And think of this, let's say you are a wedding photographer and your card fails. Things happen. There is a reason why all pro equipments have multiple backups. Imagine it this way, like if they are like, hey, Bluetooth is there, how about we transfer the audio just as a backup, even a low bit one, let's say only 24-bit audio, which can be transferred very reliably. How about that? How about you just have a backup? Worst case scenario, like again, it will not be as amazing as the proper 32-bit file, but again, better than nothing. But no, how about like, let's say once you're done the recording, how about transferring the file into your basically mobile phone? Then you can transmit it to any cloud storage so other people can work on it. No, why not? Just no. This is one of those things that is like really shows that they have never improved after 1990s. It's like tech wise, their engineers are working hard, but in terms of people who are like, hey, let's make it easy to use, let's make it current. No, it's still ancient technology. And F3 app the Android app supposed to come in spring 2020. Now be very mindful. If you are using Apple, awesome for you. But if you're Android people, you may be stuck because they made the same claim with F6 that it will have Android app, but it has not materialized yet. Last time I checked, basically I still could not find it. Has it been actually released or not? So if you want to buy this and you are planning on buying this, which is also very expensive, please, if you are an Android user, double check that it's actually there in the market when you are buying it. If it's not there, do not purchase it. So there are some cons with this. It's like in terms of usability, I'm genuinely disappointed. But I mean, like, think of this, like, why the heck they need this? Even the smaller F2 has onboard Bluetooth. Why? So this was my presentation on Zoom F3. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.